We're going to supercharge Nadi Shodhana. Check it out in a previous video. But it's the king or queen of the pranayama practices. Why? Because it's balancing the two channels that fuel duality, that get us hopelessly lost by the mind and senses hijacking consciousness and getting entangled in the world of objects. Hi, I'm Breadner. This is Yoga Coach. This is a channel for yoga teachers that want to step up in their teaching, that want to transition from the studio to online, and who want to be at the leading edge of how yoga moves into the future. It's really exciting for us. If it's exciting for you, click on the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll be notified every time there's a new video coming out. So, you know, we're reverse engineering, and we're bringing it all back. And we want to bring it back to a single point, from duality back to singularity, yoga. Nadi Shodhana is amazing because as you balance those two channels, then the mind and senses don't know how to operate. Right? They kind of go into a daydream, or the mind does, it goes into a daydream, into a neutral gear, and allows us to come back and bring our consciousness back into this point where yoga starts, and there's a whole process. In the process of doing that, you're withdrawing the senses, Pratyahara. But you can also add to Nadi Shodhana a 1-4-2 rhythm. And the 1-4-2 rhythm actually cuts a pattern in the brain that helps with that process of withdrawing the senses. So it's a double whammy when you're doing Nadi Shodhana and you do a 1-4-2 at the same time. So if I started with a 3 count of the breath, right, think of that as 1, then we're going to retain the breath for 4 times that, 12. And then exhale for 2 counts of the original, 6. If we went up in ratios, it would be 4, 16, 8, 5, 20, 10, etc., etc. You don't want to have tension. You don't want to be holding your breath. You can go these bigger ratios, but without strain. It's something you want to be able to maintain without any gasping for breath or struggling with your breath. Because yoga breathing, pranayama, has nothing to do with forcefully holding your breath. There's nothing scientific about that at all. Most people can do a 3-12-6 rhythm, but if not, drop it back. 2-8-4. Let's start with the 3-12-6. So remember, when we're doing this practice, thumb, next 2 fingers curl under, 4th and 5th together. These 2 fingers can be at the 3rd eye, but easier to demonstrate here. You want to come down the bony bit to the wobbly bit, and then come up underneath the ends of the bones, because that's where the 2 nadis terminate, and it stimulates the prana there. Think about, or check which nostril's most open. Okay, my left nostril is most open. When you're doing your own practice, start with the nostril that's most open. If you're teaching, get everyone started on the same nostril, otherwise it's too confusing. So I'm going to start with the left. I'm going to inhale for a count of 3. I'm going to hold, retain for 12. Nine, 10, 11, 12, and then change nostrils without taking my fingers away. Exhale, 6. 5, 6. I'm going to inhale for 3. Seal, hold for 12. (11, 12). Exhale, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All you're doing with your fingers is you're slightly changing pressure side to side without taking your fingers away. And you want to be coming up to the ends of the bones rather than at the top here, at the sides. I can work at a rhythm of, 10, inhale 10, hold for 40, exhale 20, when I'm feeling very relaxed and at ease and balanced. 9, 36, 18. But the bigger numbers don't really mean anything. They might accentuate the practice a little bit, but don't let the ego get caught up in doing bigger numbers. You work up to it. In fact, the more refined your nervous system becomes, the more you can do these sort of bigger ratios, but it's not a process of forcing. So let's come up and bring our fingers to the bottoms of the bones there. I want you to seal your right nostril. I want you to close your eyes, center your attention at the nostrils, and then 3 or 4 rounds in your own time. Start at 3, 12, 6. If it's easy, go to 4, 16, 8, and so on, but without strain. When you're practicing at home, 6 rounds is plenty to balance the 2 channels. Whenever you're doing the practice, it's really important to keep your mind focused on what you're doing. Don't let it wander off. Right? Otherwise, you're losing the effectiveness and the power of what the practice can do. Remember, we're trying to withdraw the senses and bring the awareness back in. We're trying to take the energy out of the 2 channels that are fueling that whole process. As you do it, and when you finish in another 2 or 3 rounds and you stop and connect in and feel, again, it's at a subtle level, it's a feeling level, you get this sense of, balance or stillness or spaciousness. Stillness of the mind. Do one more round. On your next exhale, completing the practice, take about 20 seconds to check in on a feeling level. Remember, these videos are all one complete powerful practice. When we look at Kriya, it's a certain set of practices, breathing, meditation, visualization, mantra, that all get put in a certain order to create a powerful effect, essentially as tools to bring you back to singularity. We have a practice, Ishta Kriya, which has a number of components. This is one of the components. If you want to learn to understand all the components and how they fit together, then look for that video, One Powerful Practice. But all the practices are explained separately, and then one powerful practice is sitting down and doing the practice. If you need to, you go back to Nadi Shodhana. If you need to, before that, you go back to pre-meditative asana. If you need to go back, you look at the framework for what we're doing, how to take yoga beyond the physical. Thanks for doing the practice. Always, as usual, comment, like, share. That would be wonderful. And we'll see you on the next video. One-handed namaste, shaka, peace.